Here we are. It is the first rebuild of FM23 on my channel. You guys loved the rebuilds in FM22, so let's bring them back on a Sunday as a regular fixture of my content. And when we started things this year, there was only one club who I wanted to rebuild right off the bat, and it had to be Barcelona. They start an FM23 save with almost £1 billion worth of debt, and my challenge in this rebuild is to clear it. So I will be in game, as you can see right here, as we go over to the debts and loans tab. £985 million worth of net debt, 95 almost million pounds worth of transfer debt. My goal, clear this debt. And how am I going to do that? I am not going to sign a single player in this entire rebuild. Let me know down in the comment section how many years, or how many seasons should I say, that you think this is going to take me to clear that, because not only do I have to clear the debt, I'm also going to try and stay competitive as well, which is going to be very, very interesting. So let me know down in the comments how many seasons you think this is going to take me. So obviously we are Barcelona manager here. It says that their financial status is okay, which personally, absolutely laughable. We do have some debt in the club, obviously £26 million worth of debt, but they have gone out this season and they have strengthened an awful lot. If we go in, this is the tactic that we're going to be using. It is going to be the 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 Dynamite. I need a tactic that's going to carry me. You can check this tactic out on the channel. It is a very, very good tactic, and with the players that Barcelona have now picked up at their disposal, if we quick pick the best 11, this is how the team is looking right now. So we've got ter Stegen in goal, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 at right back, 𝘼𝙗, Piqué, Alba, Busquets, De Jong and Kessie, Dembele, Depay and Lewandowski. Obviously we do have some of the talents on the bench as well. We've got Christensen on the bench, Pedri, Ansu Fati, Rafinha, we've got Eric Garcia, we've got Gavi of course, Sergio Roberto, Ferran Torres, Marcos Alonso, Alejandro Balde. I can see him getting quite a lot of game time. So we've got a really, really deep squad to hopefully combat some of this financial issue that I'm going to then have in this save. I need to balance the amount of players that I sell with the new talent coming through the youth intake to not only continue to be competitive, because the club vision is pretty intense actually. So they want me to challenge for the Champions League, which if I hover over the eye, they want me to reach the final of the Champions League, which, Editor Jack, if you just flash up how Barcelona are actually doing in the real life Champions League. Good. So they want me to get to the final of the Champions League. They want me to win La Liga, challenge for the Copa del Rey, and be competitive in the Spanish Super Cup. So that's really interesting from what the board want. In terms of the supporters as well, they just want attacking, entertaining, possession-based football. Develop players using the club's youth system. Don't worry, chaps, I'll be doing that. High-tempo pressing football. They also want me to finish above Madrid, finish above Espanyol, and win La Liga. So, this is a tough one. This is a really, really tough one. They're moving things on. They just want to continue to win La Liga and obviously work towards being the best team in Europe. So lots to go on. Obviously, we have all of these competitions. The Spanish Super Cup, where we're going to take on Real Betis in that semi-final before probably, most likely, a Real Madrid final. They take on Valencia. And then obviously, yeah, Copa del Rey, Champions League and La Liga. So, simulate the first season. Let's see how we get on. So season 1 is in the books, and I do have to say this Barcelona team, coupled with this tactic from 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, is a bit OP. Their squad is unreal, and I cannot believe that they are set to go into the Europa League this season. We kind of dominated everything, really. We won absolutely everything. The Spanish Super Cup, we win that one in the final. It was Valencia who actually got past Real Madrid, so we win that one in the final 2-1. The Copa del Rey final, again, we win that one 2-1. We beat Real Betis in that one. UEFA Super Cup, we are going to enter. La Liga, we won by 8 points. We finished top of the league. We only lost once all season, which was away against Valencia. Again, this tactic will be linked down in the description, guys, if you want to go and check that one out. And then the Champions League, we are the current holders of the Champions League. I don't know why it's showing these fixtures and results. This is the Champions League final. We beat Bayern Munich in that final 4-2. 4 goals, 1 from Lewandowski, 1 from Frankie de Jong, 1 from Gavi, and 1 from Rafinha. Now, I do have to talk about some of the transfers here, guys, because I did shift out a couple of players. If we rearrange the dates so that the most recent ones are at the top, so hopefully my fat head isn't there, or if Editor Jack can tidy things up, that would be great. We've had a couple players go out, some of the bigger wages, some of the older players. So 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 𝙈𝙚 has gone to PSG, Sergi Roberto has gone to Manchester United, Memphis Depay has gone to Chelsea, and Gerard Piqué has also gone to Chelsea. Yes, okay, it's not a huge amount of money coming in, but this is some of the movements we need to do. Basically, Memphis Depay was great for us, but I had Dembele and Rafinha ready to go, so kind of get rid of him. Gerard Piqué older on a lot of money, 𝘼𝙗𝙁 𝙈𝙚 older on a lot of money. Obviously we got a couple of loans coming back in over this summer's transfer window, so I'm going to try and move some of the additional players on, fingers crossed. But a good first season, a season that Barcelona fans would probably expect with the squad that they've been able to materialise by pulling all the financial levers. Let's skip ahead to the start of season 2, because I'm very intrigued to see how many other players I can offload here. So guys, going into season number 2, we have a little bit more of a mini transfer update. Pablo Torre has gone out on loan to Tigres in Mexico. I don't think he's ready to start for me just yet. We obviously do have the really good, talented midfield core of like Gavi, Pedri, De Jong, Kessie, all of that stuff. So I don't think he's ready to just start for me just yet. Samuel Umtiti has returned from his loan, and I've sold him straight away to Sassuolo. 850k for him, nothing too special. Marcos Alonso leaves the club. He goes to Zenit on a free transfer. Hector Bellerin leaves the club as well. He goes on a free to Cruz Azul. And Francisco Trincao has already got a pre-arranged transfer where he goes to Sporting for £6 million. So he has gone as well. Ousmane Dembele has also left the club, £28 million, which, considering the amount of money that Barcelona bought him for, £92 million. He did okay last year, but it kind of isn't really the type of player I want. He kind of is lacking a little bit mentally. I think Rafinha is much better in that position. So he is now a Eintracht Frankfurt player, 28 million there. So going into season number 2, if we go into our debts and loans, you can see we're in an overall balance now. It's positive. We've got 122 million back in the club. But what I'm basically doing, guys, is I'm moving all of my transfer budget into my wage budget. So as you can see, I've got a wage budget here of 5.4 million a week. I'm only spending 3.5. So I'm hoping saving some of that money on the wages and stuff like that is really, really good, because that overall debt now, after winning the Champions League and going deep in all of those competitions and stuff, is 754 million. We have just had some TV money. So this is one thing I will say about FM this year. Obviously, Barcelona have sold a lot of their TV rights for the upcoming seasons to get that money in now. That's not the case in FM, so it looks like you do still get your La Liga TV money and all of that stuff as well. So yeah, this net debt is on its way down, so we are trying to clear things a little bit. Obviously, in terms of the competitions, guys, we have the same competitions as we did last season, but we do have the UEFA Super Cup, where we take on Lazio, who are obviously Europa League winners, and all of that good stuff. If we go into the Club Vision super quick, some of this stuff has updated. We've got informational objectives now, more about contract length and stuff like that. There's some of the stuff here that they want me to do as well. Work within the wage budget. Don't worry, guys, we're well covered in there. Most reputable team in Spain, most reputable team in Europe, most reputable team in the world. In terms of this season's competitions, though, they want us to challenge for that Champions League again, so I guess I need to try and get to the final, win the Super Cup, sorry, win the La Liga, and then be competitive in the other 2 competitions as well. And in terms of the supporters, that's not really changed too much. They just want us to be some of the most reputable teams in Spain, Europe, and the world. So again, we will continue to try and do that. We'll simulate this season and see how season 2 goes. We're a little bit older, so I think some of these players, like Pedri, like Gavi, are going to be much better this time around. So season 2 is done and dusted, and you can see a lot of silverware on the screen. We've won everything again. Like, I don't understand what's going on with this Barcelona team, and obviously some of the transitions of some of the tactics and stuff, they don't necessarily work from FM22 to FM23. This one seems to be clicking, especially with this Barcelona team. Let's start from right to left. The Super Cup we won on penalties, so it's not like we're having it all our own way. We beat Real Madrid on penalties, just out of curiosity. Who missed the decisive one? 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪𝙩 Tchouaméni, who is an absolute monster this year. So Tchouaméni missed the decisive penalty for Real Madrid, but it looked like we kind of had the better of things in the game anyway. The Spanish Cup, we win against Athletic Bilbao 4-0. Very emphatic in that one there. UEFA Super Cup, we did beat Lazio 5-0. Get clapped, Lazio. And then we took on PSG in that Champions League final. We beat them 2-1. If we expand this up, you can see absolutely dominated this PSG team. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 and Nico with the goals. This PSG team still does have Neymar, Mbappe and Messi. This is a very common formation in this year's game, it would appear. And in terms of La Liga, 101 points. We did have 3 losses. We lost to Atletico, Almeria and Celta Vigo. 2 draws, but we still did finish with 100 points and a plus 90 goal difference. So very, very good. Lewandowski scored 44 assists season, 63 goals and 11 assists in 48 appearances in all competitions. This guy's a freak. Despite being 35, it still doesn't matter. He still is a bags man. He scored 57 last year, 57 and 37 in La Liga last year. Wow. Haaland who? So yeah, we've kind of absolutely smashed it, to be perfectly honest. We've got a few transfers to probably update you on. A couple more players that have left the club. Cortez is a younger one. He's gone out on loan. Barr's gone out on loan. Alex Collado gone out on loan. Sergio Busquets has been sold to Liverpool for 3.5 million. Clément Lenglet has been sold again to Frankfurt for 4.8 million. Kessie, now he has gone to Liverpool in the January for 45 million quid. Now I had to weigh up actually having a big ball winner in midfield versus 45 million pounds in the bank balance. So I felt like midfield was the area, or central midfield was the area where I was strongest. So it was time to shift on Frank Kessie. Liverpool wanted him, so he is gonzo. It's actually quite a big loss. He's a really, really good player in this year's game, Frank Kessie. So he will be missed, but is now plying his trade at Anfield. So let's jump forward through the summer, going into season number 3. Going into season number 3, guys, we only really have one transfer to talk to you about, and that is Alex Collado. He has now left the club on a full-time basis. He is now a Porto player after that loan. The loan cost them 200k, and they paid 1.4 million pounds to bring in Alex Collado. Some of the other transfers that have happened are very, very small, so aren't really breaking the balance. If we do talk about the debt, though, and the balance is going down, though, isn't it? 525 million going into season number 3. Obviously, the success in all the league competitions and stuff like that is very welcome, does help massively winning the Champions League. In terms of all the competitions, we have the exact same ones as last time around. We've got Manchester United this time in the Super Cup. The continuance of dominance is kind of expected. They want us to challenge for that Champions League, which again means making the final, win the Super Cup, win La Liga, and then just be competitive in the Cups. I will probably use those as rotations potentially, and the supporters kind of want us to continue as we're doing. They're delighted that we are developing the club's youth system. That is because obviously we are not signing anybody. I'm not even doing free transfers. Some people have said I should be doing free transfers in this video, but I didn't want to spend the money on wages. So anybody who is coming through the development center is much more likely to get a game. In terms of some of these players that are coming through, we've got a few decent little prospects here. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on some of these guys. I think this guy could be quite nice. He's got 16 first touch already, 18 flair, I think, is a creative opportunity. He could be a very nice player, still only 17. He's Argentinian as well, so he could be Messi again. But we will see. I'm going to simulate through season number 3, and we've had a good start to pre-season. Simulate through season number 3. Let's see if our dominance of winning every single trophy does continue. I'm not going to lie, guys, this is getting quite silly now. I don't know what's going on. We're just so good. This Barcelona team is unreal. Even with some of the players that I have sold, it still has the talent level to just exceed absolutely everything. And we enter the Club World Cup this time around. Not a competition that I'm going to prioritize, but we won everything again. UEFA Super Cup, we beat Manchester United in extra time there. So Luckily got that one done to win our second Super Cup in a row. The Champions League, which we have now secured for 3 seasons in a row. We beat Real Madrid at El Clasico Champions League final. Didn't really allow Madrid to do anything, and it took us late time in the game to score. Ferran Torres set up by Gavi, and then Ronald Araujo with no assist. So I'm very intrigued to see what he's done here in the 97th minute. I'm just going to load this up because I think this could be something quite special. But 3 Champions Leagues in a row, not to be sniffed at. So Gavi on the corner, it gets cleared. Oh, that's not special at all. But it wins us the Champions League, I suppose. So we beat Madrid in the Champions League final. Mbappe scored 18 in the competition. Really, really interesting. Super Cup, Spanish Super Cup, beat Bilbao 4-0. Comfortable Copa del Rey final, beat Bilbao again, this time 1-0. And then La Liga, we only won by a point in the end. 97 points, 96 for Real Madrid. 1 loss all season was a 4-0 thumping away at Betis. But you can still see Lewandowski still just churning it out. Highest average rating, top of the goal scoring charts, most player of the matches in La Liga. Despite the fact that he is 36, he's still got 12 pace. Not that that matters. His 20 off the ball is brilliant. 20 determination. This guy just scores goals. I'm going to continue renewing his contract left, right and centre, hopefully trying to negotiate him down off of that 240k a week. But he does realise that he is getting older. He is scoring less and less each season, but his goal return is still vastly impressive. So I'm not going to bang on about it too much. In terms of some of the other transfers, guys, I can't remember if I sold anyone in January. I did. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 has gone to Lens. The Moroccan winger, again, we kind of have a lot of depth in wing positions. Obviously Pedri can play out there as well, so he has gone to Lens for 11.75 million. So we are still grinding away, but 3 Champions Leagues in a row. I think this is going to come unstuck soon, and I think I'm probably going to have a summer where I sell too many players. Is that going to be season number 4? Let's jump ahead and find out. So, transfer update going into season number 4. Obviously, the transfer in. No transfers to display. We are still not signing anybody yet. We haven't cleared all of the debt. We do have a couple outgoings to talk about. Estantes Pedrola has gone to Atletico Madrid for 11 million quid. Another winger / striker who can kind of play in a couple positions. But considering Lewandowski just seems to be an elite tier machine, I thought I'd sell him. So he has gone to Atletico for 11 million pounds. Another big outgoing this summer, Andreas Christensen has gone. He has gone to Porto for 25 million pounds. Again, like, he is a good player, but was featuring kind of a lot. But I feel like we have enough depth to cover centre back, kind of. So when the opportunity came to sell him, I thought it was the right thing to do. In terms of those finances, though, the debts and the loans, we are down to 336.8 million pounds. So we are really chunking this away now, going into season number 4. I'm sure you guys will be interested in our best 11. So if we quick pick without restriction, this is the best 11 as things stand. We've got Ter Stegen in net, Koundé, Araujo, Eric Garcia, and Balde is now the main choice at left back. Obviously, Serginho Dest can play on both sides. De Jong is the DM of choice. Pedri and Gavi, the 2 La Masia boys. Ferran Torres, Ansu Fati, and Robert Lewandowski up top. We do have some extra depth in here. Obviously, Nico, Serginho Dest, who we did touch on, Rafinha on the bench. This guy, Martin Gorgiev, is actually quite nice as well. Young Bulgarian who is actually at Barca. Pablo Torre, sorry, and stuff like that as well. So the team is still looking pretty darn strong, I would say, going into this season. We haven't hampered it too much by shilling out all of these players for transfer. In terms of the competitions, much the same. I don't see us winning 4 Champions Leagues in a row. I think that would be a little bit of a joke. La Liga is our bread and butter, though, that we do still want to win. In terms of the club vision, we do continue. They do want us to challenge for the Champions League, which again is just reach the final, especially with some of the sackings in this year's game. I think if we don't, that could be a real problem. Win the Super Cup, win La Liga is kind of much the same. They are delighted that we are spending the original transfer budget. By spending the budget, I'm just sliding it all into the wages for the most part. So like, we've got a wage budget now of 9.6 million and we're spending 4.1 million on wages. Obviously I am trying to keep players, so I need to keep giving them good wages, but in terms of actually spending our wage budget, we're doing quite well. So let's simulate this season and find out if we can continue this reign of dominance. So season 4 is over, and we do have a lot of silverware on the screen, but that run of Champions League victories is now over. We did get to the final, but runners up annoyingly, which is really, really frustrating. The Super Cup, Spanish Super Cup, we beat Real Madrid 1-0 in that final for the 4th time in a row we win that. Real Oviedo, fair play to get into the Copa del Rey final, but you come up against a very impressive Barca team. We win that one 3-0. We win the Spanish Super Cup. We beat West Ham, Europa League winners, West Ham. 3-0 in that final. Rafinha, Torres and Lewandowski with the goals. Runners up in the Champions League then. This time we do lose to PSG. This time Kylian Mbappe is far too strong, it would appear. Mbappe with both the goals set up by Vitinha and Hakimi. Lewandowski not necessarily having his best game for the club. They've also bought Jamal Musiala, so I think he's going to be one of the best players in this year's game. Jamal Musiala is very good. Oh, and they've bought Saka as well. Bukayo Saka playing left wing back. Oh, to be PSG, hey? La Liga, again, kind of self-explanatory. Only one loss this season away at Madrid. 93 points for us again. Not our best points return, but you can see players like Gavi is really starting to turn up the heat now. 21 assists and 10 goals for him in all competitions. Bearing in mind he's playing as a central midfielder. Lewandowski still banging out the goals. 44 in 45 this season. As you can see, he is getting older. He is 37. I'm going to try and have him around for another year at the very least. So let's see what happens over this summer transfer window. Going into season number 5, there's not really much to talk about on the transfer front. Hector Fort has gone to Manchester City for £12.5 million. He is a young fullback. He is actually pretty well rounded, relatively quick. He's 6'2" as well. But the scouts at Barcelona, or the coaching staff at Barcelona, not a fan of Hector Fort. So I think that we allowed him to go at the right time. The finances, the big boys, going into season number 5. We've got a wage budget of around £10.4 million now, and an overall balance in the club of £403 million. The overall debt is now down under £200 million, £191.3 million. So we are really chunking this away now. I think we've just by winning, to be honest, is doing the business. Again, Barcelona are very strong in this year's game, so I don't know if it's a combination of the tactic or the fact that I am Barca, but we're doing quite well. Obviously we do have the same competitions this time around. Obviously we don't go into the Super Cup this year because we didn't win the Champions League. But all in all, things are looking pretty rosy for us. If we go into the club vision, they are a little bit disappointed in me in some of the instances. I'm on course for a lot of the stuff here because we are the best team in Europe, having won the Champions League the last three of the last 4 seasons. This is one that's going to be a sticking point. Spend the original transfer budget. I'm really trying not to do that. So having that as an actionable objective is really quite frustrating. And also increase the commercial revenue, but I'm not bringing in big high-profile names to boost those shirt sales. So again, these 2 financial ones, one of which is desired, one of which is preferred, quite difficult to do. They also want me to develop the best youth system in the world, but I'm not going to put the money into the youth system because it's going to accrue more debt. So very interesting time at Barcelona now. In terms of all the competitions, they just want me to continue winning stuff, obviously, as you kind of would expect. The supporters at Barcelona, they are still happy that we are developing the youth system. And we are on course and slash are probably the best team in the world, despite not winning the Club World Cup, which I didn't actually touch on a couple seasons ago. When was that? Before the start of the season? I can't remember when the Club World Cup is now. Yeah, Club World Cup. We went through Group G. We beat Vélez and Frontal, and then we got buzzsaw by Man City. So kind of what happens in the Club World Cup. Going into this season, though, we are kind of still expected to win La Liga. Obviously, I believe we are still favourites if we look at the season preview. Yeah, 11 to 10 favourites. A lot of the team now is still our players. Pedri, Rafinha, really good. De Jong, they put De Jong at centre back, but not really too sure about that. But yeah, debt still going down. Can we win another La Liga trophy in a row in season number 5 and maybe get back to another Champions League final? Because I think that would be a pretty impressive run. More silverware still, but again, the Champions League did elude us in this season. Season number 5. It's a very good points return in La Liga. 102 points plus 101 goal difference. Absolutely blitzed Real Madrid this year in La Liga. Super Cup, we beat Madrid on penalties again. In terms of the Copa del Rey, we beat Madrid again. As you can see, these new gens are starting to come through. This guy looking very tasty for Real Madrid. Obviously, Champions League final, we got all the way to the final. We lost on penalties to Bayern Munich. Very disappointing considering if we look at this, FC Barcelona, 32 shots, 21 on target, 3.21 XG. We scored 2 goals in the game. Diogo Costa in goal for Bayern with that defense in front of him is very, very good. Looks like we do need some work on penalty taking because 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪𝙩, Nico, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪𝙩 and 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪𝙩 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪𝙩 all missed penalties, which is not good for the Champions League final, getting to that point and then just absolutely falling apart on the penalties. In terms of the competitions though, we've done really, really well. This team is very good still. The tactic again is very, very good. They are devastated by a couple of these things. Obviously, I'm not spending the transfer budget, so they are devastated by that, and obviously disappointed by the fact I'm not increasing the commercial revenue as well. So I've not actually had to have a manager meeting with the board yet, but I feel it's imminent, and I kind of need to just say to them, look, I'm trying to save you guys money. This is how you get in trouble, Barcelona. We've got a transfer budget, as you can see here, of 129 million, and if I move that into my wage budget, I'd save myself £32 to spend on transfers. We've got almost 12 million quid in our wage budget. So we are still working things down. This is a nice curve. You can see that we are improving that balance sustainably and steadily, hopefully, so that we could get to a point where you can actually start spending some money at Barcelona again, and things will be really, really fun, and you can start collecting all the new gens and stuff like that. I'm going to push through the summer. I don't know if there are going to be any other additional transfers out in this particular save, but let's see. So guys, going into season number 6, no real transfer business to talk to you about. We've just got João Anton leaving the club. He's one of the new gens that's come through. He's gone out on loan. So again, nothing major to talk about. Again, by winning things left, right and centre, we are doing well. The overall balance of the club has gone up again. Almost 500 million in the overall balance. Obviously, the TV money is coming in. The gate receipts are flowing. The competition revenue, even for getting to the Champions League final, is massive. So the debts and loans, I'm hoping this is the final season, guys. It is 57.6 million quid. Get to the Champions League final again, and that will go. I am so sure of it. In terms of the competitions, guys, we have the same 4 every year. La Liga, Champions League, the Copa del Rey, and the Spanish Super Cup. Obviously, they kind of want us to just continue. I did have a board meeting. I do have to talk to you about that. I did have a board meeting at the end of the season. They were really annoyed that the youth system isn't improving as much as they would like. So I've kind of removed some stuff and got ourselves a little bit of a better head of youth recruitment. So I'm hoping that improves some stuff a little bit, but they were really annoyed that we are failing developing the best youth system in the world. They've kind of got over the finances side of stuff because there is so much cash in the bank. So we are obviously moving things along. Annoyingly, through simulating, I did lose some of our youngsters as well. Jesus Leal has gone to Porto. He's gone, which is really frustrating. This guy I wasn't actually too worried about. And then this guy has gone as well. Arnel Garcia has gone to Inter. Some of the good players of the youth intake that were still in our development centre that I completely forgot about because I'm stupid when simulating. This guy we did touch on earlier, Fernando Palomino, he is very good now. He is very good. He's played a couple of times for the first team. If we go and have a look at his career stats, last season it was his kind of breakout year, really. 23 goals in 29 appearances in La Liga. Some of those coming from the bench, some of them coming from being a starter, but starting to integrate him now into this Barcelona team. But I do have to say, if we go into the tactic and quick pick our best 11, this is how things are looking right now. Lewandowski, man, like, he's 38 and he just scores goals. Like, he just scores so many goals still. He wants to start more games, so I'm going to have to start him more this year. But if you look at his goal return since he's been here, last season netting 26 in La Liga in all comps, 42 goals in all competitions, including which were 45 as a starter and then 4 as a substitute. Like, the guy is he's just a machine. Is Lewandowski still, like, even if he is 38 years of age, I think he's so good. I think when it comes to draft competitions this year, I will be looking to pick up lower. But the rest of the team, Ter Stegen, Koundé, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, Balde, De Jong, Pedri, Gavi, Torres, Fati, Lewandowski. Pretty straightforward, really, with this team. I love this midfield three of De Jong, Pedri and Gavi. I just think they are just elite tier. So I'm really enjoying having these guys here. And actually Koundé at right back is quite a nice touch as well. So we are going to simulate through the year. Obviously we do have the same competitions again. See you at the end of the season. We are 6 seasons in to this rebuild of Barcelona, and the dominance, especially in the Champions League, has been something that I am not really sure why has happened, but we've been brilliant in the Champions League. We've won it 3 years in a row, and now we are runners-up 3 years in a row. If we look at all the other competitions, we're going to start off with the Champions League. This time we lose the Champions League final 2-1 to Real Madrid. So another Classico Champions League like we did have in one of the earlier seasons. This time, though, Real Madrid and some of their new gen talent actually getting the job done. That midfield three of 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, Camavinga and Ruben Neves is very good, and this guy Lucas Sorensen would have been the type of player that I would have loved to have picked up with with Barcelona, but I wasn't signing anybody. So he looks like a very, very good player, I must admit. So we did lose the Champions League final for the 3rd year in a row, even with them going down to 10 men after Ferland Mendy got himself sent off. In terms of the other competitions, though, we beat Madrid in the Spanish Cup final. We beat them 2-1 to win that every single season that we've played. The Spanish Super Cup as well. We beat Valencia 4-1 in that final, again, to win that every single season that we've played. La Liga is kind of a little bit of a walk in the park now. Not our best return in terms of points. 91, I think, is actually one of the worst, if not the worst, points returns that we've had. Yep, 91 is the worst points return that we've had. We're just kind of consistent in La Liga. Scored 107 goals, 13 against Deportivo La Coruña, who are now back in La Liga for a season, and Levante, who's got 13 pumped against them in those 2 games. But we are kind of just consistent. In terms of some of the other transfers and stuff, guys, we have had a couple of others leave. They're predominantly on loan. They're all the youngsters. But this is the annoying thing. The debt and loan has gone back up, and I don't know why. I don't know why. It's £172 million. I'm hoping we can progress through some stuff, because what I ultimately want to do is give this save to you guys so that you can pick up Barcelona just completely debt-free in whatever year it is, and just spend. And put them back in the hole that I have dug them out of. I'm going to play through a little bit more of this, hopefully through this summer transfer window. Going into season number 7, I can maybe do something to get rid of that, because maybe do I sell De Jong? So guys, it is the 9th of July 2028 in this rebuild of Barcelona, and I finally got there. Net debt 0, transfer debt 0. This club is in a much better state financially than when I took it over, with almost £1 billion worth of debt. If we take a look at their overall balance and stuff like that, guys, we've got £483 million in the bank. This is the healthiest it's ever been, I think. Oh, 477 was there. But I think this is up there with the healthiest it's ever been. We are so good in terms of look at our income this month. 83, almost £84 million. TV revenue hitting hard, which Barcelona shouldn't really have, but I'm not going to dwell on it too much. I'm going to make a budget adjustment, because I want to see, I'd love to see the look on your guys' faces if I did this. If you wanted to take over this save, you could do so at a nice balance, giving yourselves £1 million a week in wages. You would have £371 million to spend on players, and also a very good squad. I didn't sell De Jong in the end. I was just able to clear the debts with the money that we won and the transfer revenues of not transfer revenues, with the money that we've won and the TV revenues of stuff for La Liga. But you can take over this save yourself with £370 million to spend with Barcelona, and you can can do so by joining the Discord. The Discord link will be down in the description. I post all of these saves live into my Discord server so that you guys can pick them up and you can play with them and take them on to the next level. If you did enjoy today's video, guys, please do drop a like on it down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, because these rebuilds are going to be coming thick and fast every single year. And also let me know down in the comments who you would like me to rebuild next time. But if you are enjoying these sorts of videos, guys, check out this video right here, which I'm sure you'll love as well.